What's up, everybody? It's Skylar, and welcome back to episode 2 of Walk With Me. And today we're going to be covering limiting beliefs, how to identify them, the impact they have on your life, and how to stop them. And what better way to do it on a beautiful walk with some fresh air and nature than with me. Let's get into it. One of the biggest limiting beliefs that I've personally struggled with was thinking that I never had enough time to do anything. It could be a project or something I was interested in at the time, and I just was crippled by the thought, the overwhelming amounts of intrusive thinking that would say, you don't have enough time. You're never going to get this done. This, and this all needs to be done first. That's not even what's important. Why even bother? You don't have enough time. And this really began to take a toll on me. Just imagine always checking the clock, thinking, do I have enough time for laundry? Can I squeeze this in between meal prep times? And just, you can't really organize anything if you believe you don't have enough time to organize. As stupid as that sounds, it's a real vicious thing that I struggle with. And there's so many limiting beliefs in this world. And I know that we're going to touch base on some of those things you're dealing with today. So what are limiting beliefs? Limiting beliefs are those thoughts that tell you you can't. When they pop up and say, oh, I can't. I'm not worthy. I'm not attractive enough. I'm not smart enough. Man, I'm literally on ice right now. It is freezing. It's like 16 degrees out here, but I'm trying to help you, man. It's some dedication, you know? But no, limiting beliefs are the negative thoughts that get you to stop doing what's good for you. So, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm too ugly. I'm not smart enough. I don't run fast enough. I'm never going to get this promotion. I can't make that much money. I can't buy a house. I can't be with someone who actually loves me for exactly who I am and that will support me through thick and thin. I can't do that. Those are limiting beliefs. Let's be real. How many times have you said, I'm too busy to start that project, or I don't have enough money to start that business, or I can't take that vacation, maybe next year, or all these reasons as to why you can't be or do something. I'll tell you what, if I had $1 for every single time I had a thought like that, I could probably hire someone to manage my time for me. Then I'd have enough time. These limiting beliefs don't make you feel good either. They have a huge impact. They are the impact of how you feel. Beliefs dictate how you feel. Stressed out, worried, concerned, angry, bitter, resentful, limited access. I just did not feel good enough, or that I was qualified to be doing what I was doing. And that is like standing on a diving board right on the edge of it all the time and never jumping. It's important to get in touch with your emotions and how you're feeling, because it's the only way that you will have a fighting chance to even start to identify these limiting beliefs that you're having. We all have them too. If you don't have them, that's a limiting belief. We all have limiting beliefs. Sorry, I had to come inside. My fingers, I couldn't feel them. I couldn't even hit the record button. I slipped and fell like 3 times. It was a disaster. Anyways, I did want to give up on the video though. I think that it's really important to understand limiting beliefs, and I'm trying to help you with that like I help myself. So let's continue. And thank you for being patient, and we're still walking. So not all is lost. I'm going to start back off with, where do limiting beliefs come from? Limiting beliefs come from our childhood. Most of them stem from our childhood and external sources. So how other people look, how they act, how they feel, what they do, how much money they make. And with the pressure of being productive 24/7 that our current society has, it takes a huge mental toll on all of us. It's like we're constantly in a race against the clock, and it's super unhealthy. And that societal pressure with those limiting beliefs has a huge impact on our emotions. And that stops us from doing the things that we want to do. Our emotions play a huge contributing role to what we do. With these limiting beliefs and these crippling fears that we have that we don't know how to overcome, it's like sitting on the edge of a cliff and thinking, should I jump or should I just go back home and sit on the couch? And I know most of us aren't sitting at the edge of the cliff, but you get my analyzation. You can kind of feel and understand and imagine how you would feel at the edge of this cliff that you wanted to be brave and do something about. but you just couldn't find the strength. You just couldn't find the courage to do it because these overwhelming, intrusive thoughts, aka limiting beliefs, are running your game. And that has a huge impact on our behavior, things that we do, how we act. So I avoided big projects and things of that nature because I simply believed that I never would have enough time to do that or even complete them. So I just never started. It's like saying no to dessert before you've even tried it. What if it's the best dessert you've ever had in your life? Most of the times when you've had the best things you've ever had in your life, it was never planned. Think about anything you've been through life right now. The biggest amounts of money, the best relationships, the best food, the best experiences. You never planned for them. They were never in your 5-year plan. Most of us don't plan for the greatness. It just happens. But that's good news. That's good news because it just means that you're moving in a path of least resistance, which could only mean that limiting beliefs were not present at those times. And we're trying to get you back to that mindset. These are the tools that you use. If you don't educate yourself on this and learn about these limiting beliefs that I'm trying to help you with, there are real life consequences. You will miss out on learning that new skill. You will miss out on those opportunities. You'll miss out on the fantastic relationships, the people that are out there for you, just waiting with all the answers to questions you don't even know that you have. You will never get to these points if you don't pull the weeds. You pull the weeds so that you can plant the seeds. We got to pull these weeds first. The limiting beliefs are the weeds in this scenario. We want you to get to those opportunities. We want you to be the best version of yourself. I want to be the best version of myself. I want to get to all of those opportunities. I want to meet those right people. I want to be inspired. I don't want to be the only one who feels like a nutbag trying to make himself better on a daily basis. There has to be other people out here trying to do this, and I want to go be around them. So in order for me to have the courage and the strength to go do that, I got to get rid of these limiting beliefs. So how did I start to get over these limiting beliefs? Well, I challenged them. Instead of me just viciously cycling through all of these thoughts and just letting them pass through and just, I'm angry, upset, worried, concerned, unqualified, all of these daunting things these emotions would overtake me. They would paralyze me, stop me right in my tracks from whatever it is I'm doing. It doesn't matter what goal I have. Those intrusive thoughts start pouring in, limiting beliefs. It'll take over real quick if you can't identify them. But when you can identify them, that's what's happening again. And so what I did is I started challenging my thinking, my own thinking. Man, you're never going to get there on time. You're going to be 20 minutes late. Might as well turn around and reschedule. Oh, don't even start the YouTube channel. Don't start the self-development. There's people who've been doing this stuff for 20 years before you, man. You're way behind this trend, right? That's a powerful limiting belief that I at once was listening to. But I started challenging them. I started asking, is that true? I can't help other people. I can't be a motivational speaker. I can't be a life coach. I can't take my journey and my experiences that improved my life and learn how to better package them up to give them away to other people. That's not true. That's not true. You can do anything you want. You can do anything you want. I swear to God, you just have to figure out what it is you want. And you need to pull the weeds. Pull the weeds, plant the seeds. And after challenging these beliefs, I realized that my fear of not having enough time was more of a choice than about the actual constraints, because honestly, I couldn't find any. They were just thoughts that were spiraling in my head. And for whatever reason, because of past programs that have been installed in me through other people, including my parents, I believed those thoughts because I didn't have my own voice. I didn't have my own reason to challenge them until I understood that you could. What challenging these beliefs did for me is allow me to reframe them. So I would play around with the idea of, at first it really was playing. It was hard for me to believe anything, but I would start to say, hey, I'll make enough time for the things that are most important. Instead of saying I don't have time for anything. Oh, I thought about this and it gets me all piped up and I'm excited and I have all these new creative juices flowing and these ideas. And then I would stop because of these limiting beliefs pouring in, but not anymore. I would say, I will make time for the things that matter most to me, which forced me to think about what matters most to me, which is essentially pulling the weeds. Because if I fill my space, my mental space with positive thinking, I will make enough time for the things that matter most. it takes away a lot of the room that this intrusive thought process had to play with. It takes that away because now you're focused on, okay, I'll make enough time for what's most important to me. You're going to think about that. Okay, what's most important to me? So it's not allowing these other thinking processes that are not really you in the first place, nor are they true. It's not allowing them to come in because now you're using your voice. Your real voice is what's most important to me that I can make time for. It's a great question. I started asking that to myself. I started learning how to prioritize my passions instead of organizing these negative thoughts. And that leads to a way better outcome every single time. Those negative thoughts are not true. They're never true. Now that I've freed up this space, I started creating micro goals that I could constantly achieve and I could hit on a daily basis. Small wins lead to big victories. So don't ever think that a goal is too small. We got to do the reps first. You can't just go in the gym and because you took a pump or you ate some supplements and think that next week you're just going to be stretched out, right? We have to practice repetition. Muscle confusion is what builds strength. So I started using these positive affirmations and I started replacing these negative thought patterns with positive thought patterns, the complete opposite of I can't. I turned those to I cans. And that made me curious and it made me explore further down that road. For example, I would set a tiny little goal like I'm going to work on that project I've been putting off for just 10 minutes, the minute that I get home. I might be tired, I might be hungry, but I'm just going to work on it for 10 minutes. And believe it or not, most of the time, that turns into 4, 5, 6 hours of me just getting into this creative flow because I chose to do this. The goal wasn't overwhelming. It was very obtainable. I believed I could do that for 10 minutes. And then so that allowed me to get into a flow state. There were no limiting beliefs present because I was excited that I was getting this done. I was actually working on this thing that I had been putting off forever that I truly wanted to do. That's the power of understanding these limiting beliefs. So if you want stuff, this is how you get to them. It might be your favorite thing in the back of the room, but you're not going to get there until you clean the space. You need a walkway. If I was having limiting beliefs, I started sitting down, writing them out. I don't have enough time. And I simply took that and I turned it into I do have enough time. And not only did I do that, but I found out that I had evidence behind the statement, I do have enough time. Because I was able to reflect on my past life, things I've done. You're going to tell me you've never accomplished anything? You've never done something to where you didn't feel like you had enough time, but you were able to get it done? Okay, well, that means you have evidence. I had evidence in my back catalog saying, you've always had enough time, you have enough time now, and you will always have enough time. The evidence that I was able to find by challenging this belief and turning it into a positive one felt good. And the reason that it felt good is because it was real. I believed it. It was truth. It aligned with who I actually am. I do have enough time. What's the worst that could happen? I don't make it. Okay, but you know what's even worse? Not even starting. Because you don't know. Don't say no to the dessert until you know what it is. It might be your favorite thing, right? That's what life's about. It's about exploring. It's about experimentation. It's about, this is why they call it a journey. It's not a marathon. It's just one step at a time, indoor or outdoor. Walk with me. And a lot of times, just simply sharing your struggles, like limiting beliefs with a friend or family member or a close one, will lighten the load. Just talking in general helps you lighten the load a lot. This is why therapy works. This is why counseling works. It's why just venting to your partner. I vent a lot to my partner. You know, I'm constantly talking about my ideas or obstacles that are going on physically and mentally because it helps me sort them out. It's really more so I'm just kind of talking to myself and allowing others to listen. I highly recommend you start practicing doing that. Don't hold things in. I used to be a master compartmentalizer, meaning I put everything in its own compartments and I put the lid on tight and wouldn't let it out for nothing. And that just caused ticking time bombs. Now I believe you have a decent understanding of what a limiting belief is and you can relate in your own way. I know mine was time. So I had this limiting belief that I don't have enough time to do things, but I know for a fact that everyone has different things. Not a lot of people have time as the constraint or the limiting belief. It might be that you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough, You're not smart enough to make that amount of money. You'll never get that promotion. You'll never have the relationship that you want, that you desire. This is what I want you to do. For my overachievers that have paper and pen ready right now, like me, I'm the type of person that watches a video like this and I'm taking notes because I actually want to take the information and go put it into action. That's how you learn fast. But for everyone, let's say you don't have time. I understand that. When you get home tonight, if you have just 5 minutes, get a piece of paper and a pen. You can even do this on your phone, on the notepad, iPhone, Android, whatever. Sit down and start writing out your limiting beliefs. It doesn't have to be a certain amount of numbers. It doesn't have to be a strict instruction. Simple task. Sit down, think of your limiting beliefs. Why haven't I done this? Or what? Do I think that I'm good enough? Just start thinking, though. Trust me, you're not going to have a hard time. Your brain loves giving you auto suggestions that you don't align with. But just write down your limiting beliefs. And then I simply want you to take those limiting beliefs and write the exact opposite next to them. So like, let's say you had a piece of paper in 3 columns. So 2 lines, 3 columns. Here's your limiting beliefs. Here's the new belief. So like, I'm not smart enough. Turn that into, I am smart enough. Or I'll never have this much money. I can have that much money. I'll never start a business. I can start a business. I'll never have love. I will have the love that I deserve. That's what I want you to do. Turn the limiting beliefs into the complete opposite. We want to turn them into a positive affirmation. And then after that, on the 3rd column, I want you to start finding evidence for those positive affirmations. So I'm not smart. Turn that into I am smart. And then think about things in your past that you were smart about. Or the time that people told you, oh my God, you're so smart. You always think of this. Or we all have our own unique talents and creative ways and this and the other. You might think it's super small and irrelevant, but it's not. It's not. The impact that this exercise and doing these things and understanding limiting beliefs had on my life, the impact that it had on my life was so huge. It is the reason that I'm making this video right now, to try to help someone else out there, to try to help as many as I can, because I think this is one of the biggest contributing factors to living a more abundant life and suffering less. So please, do it for me if you won't do it for yourself yet. Sit down, write out your limiting beliefs, turn those into positive beliefs. You don't have to think about what that is. Just write the exact opposite. I will never be a millionaire. I will be a millionaire. And if that's too big for you, dial it down. Whatever works for you is fine. There is nothing wrong with that. That's what makes us unique individuals. And together, we make one special cupcake. And like I said, let's lighten that load. So talk about your beliefs with your partner, with your significant other, with a family member, with a best friend, with a dog. I don't care. Just get it out. You're going to be surprised how much your load lightens when you just let it out. Right? Don't keep any of that bottled in. Even reach out to me. Send me a message on Facebook. Comment on Facebook or YouTube. Call me. Don't call me at 10 o'clock. I'm not going to answer. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't call me in some crazy hours, but like, send me a message. Hey, Sky, I like the video that you posted. I like the Walk With Me episode you're doing. I'd love to learn more about this kind of stuff, and here's what I'm trying to do. Do you have any insights? I would love to help you. I would love to help you. Yes. Reach out to me. So what have we learned today? We learned how to identify limiting beliefs. We've learned how to challenge our limiting beliefs. And we've learned how to put it into a daily practice. So the reason why it's so important to do the practice, it's so important to practice gratitude, it's so important to practice positive affirmation, right? And I'm not talking about standing in the mirror like, oh my God, I'm the most beautiful person on the planet. I'm rich as hell. You know, this is not a fake it till you make it thing. This is the real deal. Affirmations don't work without action. But if you're putting forth the action, affirmations do work, because they just remove the weeds so you can plant the seeds. You guys see my videos. I can talk a lot. I don't want to overwhelm you. I just want to provide value. Please take that step today. Sit down and just write down, even if it's just one, think of one limiting belief that you know that you have. And if you don't know, just ask yourself, what have I been thinking lately? How do you feel? Get in touch with your emotions, because it's your emotions that dictate how you act and what you do. So that might be And it is the reason you're not getting the things you want out of life. I don't know what that is, but I promise you, this is a one size fits all. This is a universal game plan that anyone can implement in their lives and instantly up the quality. Thank you guys for walking with me today. I really do appreciate it so much. I know I had some technicalities earlier, slipping and falling in the snow, but it was so cold and I could not feel my fingers. But I just want to say thank you so much. I hope you found some value today. Leave some thoughts in the comments of maybe a limiting belief you've been having so other people can be more comfortable and confident opening up about themselves. Let's build a community. It's all about helping each other, right? And you all make my journey so much more enjoyable. So thank you for your feedback, the comments. I take constructive criticism. Tell me, hey man, you look like doo-doo on the camera. Let me know. I'm open for suggestions because it helps me improve. And that's what this channel and me and my whole concept of content is all about. Improvement, baby. Have a good night.